Welcome to Bhutan. This tiny country with less than 800,000 inhabitants is nestled between India and China, with over 7,000-meter Himalayan peaks forming its northern border. Most of these majestic mountains are in fact unclimbed and have never before seen the footsteps of mankind. That's the obvious headline. Here's the less obvious one. It's almost hard to imagine that Bhutan didn't allow television or the internet even until June of 1999. It was the last country in the world to permit either, and the choice was deliberate. The king of the time felt that a culture this small with fewer people than New Brunswick needed time to think carefully about what it wanted from the outside world before letting it pour in. That slow, considered relationship with modernity is the thread that runs through everything here. Bhutan is the only country on earth that measures national progress by gross national happiness rather than GDP. It is one of the very few that is, on balance, carbon negative. 60% forest cover is written into the constitution. There isn't a single traffic light in the capital city. There is a guy directing traffic, though. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Bhutan is not a place to pass through on the way to somewhere else. So many tours here do that, but we won't. Over 13 days, we'll move slowly across the country, from east to west, by air once at the start, and then by road the rest of the time. We'll begin with the dramatic flight into the country's only international airport at Paro, and then catch a short domestic hop the next morning out to Bumthang in the center of the country. From there, the trip unwinds westward over the mountains. We'll cross the Yotong La at 3,400 meters into Trongsa, the historical seat of the royal family. We'll drop down into the glacial bowl of Popjika, where the black-necked cranes return each November from the Tibetan plateau. We'll come down further still into the rice country around Punakha, and then up over the Dochula into the capital Thimphu. And we'll finish back where we started, in Paro, with a hike up to the Tiger's Nest on our last full day. Now, none of this works without the right person on the ground. So before I go further, I want you to meet ours.
Hi, I'm Tarchu Tupa. I welcome the Will and Ankle member to Bhutan to visit our beautiful country here, which is nestled between two big giants, China and India. And we have got very beautiful sights and beautiful monuments and beautiful tracks to fulfill all your dreams and wishes. Thank you.
Bumthang isn't one valley, it's four. Sitting at about 2,600 meters, the concentration of ancient temples here is higher than anywhere else in the country, which is why the Bhutanese themselves treat it as sacred ground. We'll stay 3 nights here because the temples are old in a way that takes more than a fleeting moment to absorb. Jambe Lakang dates back to the 7th century, built, as the story goes, by the Tibetan king Songtsen Gampo as part of a chain of 108 temples across the Himalayas in a single day. Kurje Lakang is built around the rock face where Guru Rinpoche meditated in the 8th century and is said to bear the imprint of his body in the stone. On our second day, we'll climb to Tarpaling Monastery at roughly 4,000 meters above sea level. It was founded by the 14th century master Longchenpa, who is said to have spent the last years of his life writing here above the clouds. We'll take it slow and easy given the altitude and enjoy lunch by way of a picnic on the way back down. In the valley below, we'll stop in at a yatra weaving center where Bumthang women weave the thick patterned wool the region is known for by hand, on looms that haven't changed much in 200 years. The other place we'll visit from Bumthang is the Tang Valley and the Burning Lake, which is really a pool in a river gorge, where in the 15th century, a saint by the name of Pema Lingpe is said to have dived into the water holding a lit butter lamp, only to return with a chest of sacred treasures and coming back to the surface with the lamp still burning. While the lake itself isn't overly dramatic to look at, the story is the point. It's the kind of thing you'll come to expect in Bhutan, small in scale, yet immense in meaning. From Bumthang, we begin the road west, and I want to be straight with you about this. Bhutan has essentially one main highway, and it runs east to west across the country. But it's not a highway in the sense we use the word in Canada. It's a 2-lane mountain road that climbs and drops between passes. The slowness is not a flaw of the trip, the slowness is the trip. Our first day on it brings us over the Yongtang La and down into Trongsa, the geographic heart of Bhutan and the seat of the Wangchuck dynasty. Every Bhutanese king since 1907 has first served as governor of Trongsa before taking the throne. The Dzong itself, built 500 years ago, is the largest in the country, a small stone city of 25 temples connected by interior corridors, laid out so that the eastern half of Bhutan could be administered from inside its walls. The next day takes us further west, down into Pobjika. This is a wide glacial valley, and in November, the black-necked cranes will already be there. They cross the Himalayas, roughly 1,500 kilometers from the Tibetan plateau, to spend the winter feeding in these fields. They mate for life and live for 30 or 40 years. The farmers here will tell you that on arrival, the cranes circle the Gangte monastery 3 times as a kind of kora. Whether or not they do, the fact that this is the story the farmers tell reveals something about how Bhutan thinks. We'll walk a stretch of farmland with them, visit a 14th century village temple, and have lunch with the young monks who study in the valley. From Pobjika, the road drops sharply, and so the mercury rises a bit. Punakha sits at 1,200 meters. It's warm enough that rice grows here, and warm enough that the central monk body of Bhutan migrates from Thimphu down to Punakha every winter for the season. Punakha Dzong is, by most reckonings, the most beautiful fortress in the country. Built in 1637 at the confluence of the Po-Chu and Mo-Chu, the Father River and the Mother River, it's where every Bhutanese king has been crowned. Whitewashed walls, intricate carved woodwork, jacaranda trees in the courtyards, and a long covered wooden bridge to the entrance. We'll spend a morning helping with the rice harvest in the fields outside town, conditions allowing, of course, and then we'll hike up to a chorten on the ridge for a view back across the valley. That evening, weather permitting, will be by candlelight on the riverbank. From Punakha, we climb again, this time over the Dochala Pass into the capital.
This is the Dochala Pass, which sits at 3,150 meters above sea level, and it is the only road crossing between eastern Bhutan and western Bhutan. And there is this magnificent temple with 108 stupas up here. It's a great stop along our journey through Bhutan.
Down the other side of Dochala sits Thimphu, the capital, the largest city in the country, and home to about 115,000 people. It is the only national capital in the world without a single traffic light. They tried installing some in the 1990s. The residents preferred the human warden who'd been doing the job for years. The lights came down. Above the city, on the ridge, sits this.
Standing at the foot of the giant Buddha, one of the largest in the world, overlooking this spectacular valley, which has the capital city of Thimphu.
This country embraces a sacred heart of Buddhism, as evidenced by its magnificent temples, most of which are situated high up in the mountains. The most famous of which, of course, is the Tiger's Nest, which sits a couple of 100 meters below where I'm standing and is an absolute highlight of any visit to the country. Mind you, you have to be willing to take a 4-hour round trek both up and downhill. We do the hike on our last full day. It's earned by then, as opposed to starting cold. Up before sunrise, coffee at 6, a half-hour drive to the trailhead, and on foot by the time the sun rises. The monastery clings to a cliff 900 meters above the Paro Valley floor, at 3,120 meters elevation, built around a cave where Guru Rinpoche is said to have meditated for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 3 hours. The current structure dates to 1692. The climb is about 700 meters of vertical on a wide trail of blue pine and rhododendron, with stone steps near the top. 5 to 6 hours round trip. It's not easy, but it's doable, and the reward makes every step worth it. For anyone who'd rather not push the whole way, there is a midway cafeteria with what might be the best view of the monastery there is from across the gorge, as if it's within reaching distance. And here's something I want to mention before we close. Through most of this trip, our lodging is comfortable and modest. Village inns, valley lodges, the kind of places that suit a country like this and let you stay close to it. But for our final 2 nights in Paro, we moved to the Como Uma Paro, one of, if not the finest hotel in Bhutan, and a fitting place to land after 2 weeks of pretty serious country. It's a reward, not a frame. The country is the trip. The hotel is where the trip rests.
For most of us, Bhutan is a place we know almost nothing about. And then you arrive and the country opens up and it brings us a way of thinking about progress, about happiness, about the pace of life that the rest of us have so much to learn about. 13 days with a small group of Canadians
and the time to take it all in properly. I hope you'll join us.